I always forget to hit that. I wish it would default to low latency. Who's my first victim? I see one person. That means I have a first victim. Two victims. Pretty good. I keep my victims happy. Today is wild cherry. Yum, yum, yum. Hello, Sweden. Hello, Antonio. And Ian. Innocent bystander? No, you must partake. I'll tell you the same thing I tell the vegans. You can help us chase them down and hold them, and then we can cook them. On today's episode of T3D Printing, we are going to do politics. I'm going to show you how to cook them. I'm going to show you how to fillet them. And I'm going to show you how to make them tasty. Nice. We like torturing our victims, so let the urges stream. Yes, this is the one from the Kickstarter. Oh yeah, these are very expensive. My sister doesn't think they're expensive because they're 74 cents a piece. But then I have to explain to her that that's about $2.50 a gallon. Like that's actually pretty expensive. But they are delicious. They're delicious and they're 0 calorie and we enjoy them. So if that's what I gotta pay to help us reduce our appetites for eating bad stuff, I'm okay with that. I also have a shit ton of the Mio style, juice flavor mixes. But that's not as convenient. Yes, they're supposed to be voting on it this week. Hopefully, they're hoping to vote on it by the end of Friday and move it over to the Senate. Might be Monday, Tuesday. Little by little, I got 2 freezers, so I have more freezer space now. I'm trying to research better ways to see if there's any way to freeze eggs because Smith's had eggs on sale for 50 cents a dozen. I bought 10 dozen eggs. So I got 15 because I already had 5 dozen. I got 15 dozen eggs. And it's probably going to be gone by the time I get there today. But I would like to go back and get another 10 dozen. Someone told me if you whip the eggs and then add salt, that'll keep it from turning gelatinous. My problem is the amount of salt you have to add is a little high. So I'm kind of worried about them tasting a little salty if I were to try to just straight up cook them, like thaw it and then fry up some scrambled eggs. So I've got a batch of 8 eggs scrambled up, salted, freezing in the freezer right now. And so after the stream today, I will try to cook them and see what happens. They have to. They have to do a round 2 or we're screwed. Not me personally, but the nation. Eggs last a long time, but if you have 30 dozen, you might actually not eat them fast enough. The the millings are working very well. It's looking very good. I'm actually seriously tempted to get another batch. Well, the problem is I know eggs can turn rubbery. Hey, Tony. Hopefully things have been okay with you. What do you do when a roll of PLA gets stuck while printing? If you catch it, you cut the roll and try to feed in some fresh filament. If you don't catch it, you scrape off the mess and you start over. Yeah, I noticed he pushed that video quick to get it out before my stream. I don't blame him. But he has nothing to worry about from me. I mean, Christ. His video was out 4 hours ago and he's already got 11,000 views. My God, do you know how much money I'd make if I got videos at 11,000 views? Whew. Hey, Roy, you're in Albuquerque? That's cool. Water glassing? What's water glassing? See, I know in the US we wash the eggs, and that greatly reduces their shelf life. If the eggs were unwashed, meaning fresh eggs like Tony mentioned, you could just store them on a counter for months. You don't even have to refrigerate them. But because we wash the eggs here, it's odd. In the US, it's actually illegal to sell unwashed eggs in the store. In the UK, it's illegal to wash them. Just countries do different things. I've heard I can put like machine oil or vegetable oil on the eggs and store them without refrigeration. The problem is I can't afford to get sick if I do it wrong. Gas is about $1.50, $1.55 a gallon here, although Costco has it for $1.25 a gallon. I finally got my gasoline stickers, so hopefully they'll let me fill up my barrels with gas. Yeah, send it to me by Twitter or email. You can post it here as well so other people can click it. But there's no practical way for me to go back through the live stream chat later on to find a link. So if you could send that by Twitter or email, that'd be great. Here, let me give you a picture. See how many eggs I got. Good afternoon, GeForce Racing. I said before, I didn't get a gravel driveway. I got a millings driveway, and I didn't get the driveway done. I got the 2 parking pads done, and so far it's holding up nicely. So let me bring that up. SD card, DSIM camera. Why the hell would you open up the picture in that program? That's not even the associated program. Because this is not an actual mass storage view. This is some stupid interface view. And so it's picking the program. What's the matter, kitty? So, monitor. There we go. So there's all the cartons. That is not what I asked you to do. That's what I asked you to do. Each of those has 90 eggs. This one I bought from Walmart, and then I add a third tray because I keep them. I keep the trays. I keep these boxes in these trays because it's a very convenient way of putting eggs in the fridge. And so each of these trays is 30, and there's 3 trays, so that's 90 eggs you're looking at right there. So it's 180 eggs total. I would like to get more, but as you can see, I don't have any more fridge space for more. So I would need to freeze them or something. What's the matter, kitty? Good morning, Melvin from Germany. And Hans Stefan Bayer. $15 dozen eggs for 20 bucks. That ain't bad. That's like what? $1.25 a dozen? Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Now that's a good deal. 15 pounds of bacon for 20 bucks is a great deal. What do you mean there will be a layer that always sticks out and the rest are fine? That's a comment from WebTech. No, you could try untangling it. If the tangling is bad, you might have to unspool most of the roll and then re-roll it back up, being very careful not to straighten the roll too much. Try to unroll it and keep it curved, because if you straighten it and then re-roll it, it will crack on the roll. But yeah, you could just try to unspool it until you get to an area where there doesn't appear to be any more tangles, and then re-roll it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually good for both then. That's a great deal for eggs and bacon. Yeah, it's usually windy here. Not right now, it isn't, but it probably will be. Well, no, because of a layer shift would be when the entire object shifts, and so you have an obvious shift. But if you have just one layer sticking out, how does it undo the layer shift? So that's probably not a layer shift. Yep, this is the 6SE. Supposedly level free printer. We'll see. We seem to get a lot of critters from Germany. Yeah. You're fully charged. Do you have a picture of it? Thank you. I see it. Um, it's not likely to be an extrusion issue if it's consistent across one layer. My first is it always at the same layer, or is it random? My first suspicion would be the Z didn't lift up. So basically you have mid-print elephant's foot. Because if the Z doesn't lift up and it tries to extrude plastic, well, the plastic has to go somewhere. They will affect it. Absolutely. It's using the nozzle, touching the plate for bed leveling. So I would actually level the bed cold. Or at least the nozzle cold. Warm bed, cold nozzle. Because you will want to make sure there's nothing on the end of that nozzle. I never heard of that. Now you got me curious. Yeah, a little bigger, no kidding. $6,500 printer with a 1266 build volume. Holy shit. Um, where do you live? I want to send some murder hornets your way. Damn. Ruby nozzle would probably work fine. It's not pushing that hard. Hans, that's a pretty impressive printer. You could just about buy my car for the price of that printer. I don't know. A binding in the Z-axis that culminates at that level. Bad G code, loose stepper motor. Pretty good, my mini craft. Yeah, the Ender 5 Plus is a beast. That's a big machine. Yeah, I see two of them on there, WebTech. Here's the file he's talking about. Why can't I zoom in on these pictures? I hate when they restrict what I can do. Yeah, my first guess is going to be to check the Z-axis integrity. So actually, I will address that when we build this printer. You want to make sure that there's no binding in that Z-axis. So you need to make sure the brass coupler on the carriage, the stepper motor, and the lead screw are all lined up. It is a strain gauge. There's a bimetal strain gauge built into the carriage. I doubt it. It's probably a translation issue. Yeah, the Tron XY printers suffer from quality control. I mean, they're okay machines. They're just a little too budget. I'll show you specifically when we get into this. Well, actually, I can show you with this too. So, the components you need to check. Would you just freaking turn when I tell you to turn? Is that so hard? Which one of these controls that? That's as loose as it goes. Or is that an adjustment there? Nope, that's not an adjustment. So if we switch to here, the components you need to play with is this brass coupler here, this coupler here, the stepper motor, and the bracket. So basically you want to loosen the lead screw. First, you want to make this loose. So loosen these screws a little bit. Okay. Loosen the grub screws holding the lead screw into the coupler. Lift the lead screw out of the coupler. Okay. Then while holding the X-axis up in the air like this, allow the lead screw to screw itself down and drop into the coupler. it should hit the hole and fall right in. If it doesn't, if you have to push the lead screw to get it to go in that hole, then you need to adjust this setup until it doesn't require you to do that. Okay. On some of these machines, you might have to put a shim behind the bracket here to push the Z stepper motor out a little bit, and you should have a little bit of play to move it left to right if necessary, and you also get a little bit of play in this bracket here, in this brass collet here. You should be able to adjust that a little bit. I'm actually building a mini store, so I got this really nice baker's cart right here, and that baker's cart is going to be my little Wawa tea station. So that's going to be my little homage to Wawa. And I even got the cups. I have a couple other ones too. These are just the ones I found so far. So these are my little steel tumblers from Wawa. I got a blue one and I got a really nice, elegant gold brown one. Hi, kitty. That's the kitty over here. Yeah, he's a good boy. I scared the living shit out of him last night. Like, I mean, I scared him. I picked up my my little baby Yoda there, and I thought I saw something move. Oh, that's a delay. um, the I picked up the baby Yoda. Take a picture to post on Facebook, and when I picked it up, he jumped up and just claws digging in, hauled ass, jumped off here and hid behind the window. So he must have been having a bad dream or something like that. And the noise of me picking up the print just scared the shit out of him. Noel was laying next to him and just looked at him like, "What the hell's wrong with you, dude?" So let's get into it. Let's tear into this box. Yeah, paper's pretty dense, so as long as it doesn't get wet, it should work fine forever. This has a belt connecting them? Ew, I don't like that. Not a fan of that at all. But supposedly it works very well, so if they got the machining right, it'll be okay. Ooh, it's not white or black. I'm impressed. It comes with a full kilogram, about time. There's no reason for them not to include a full kilogram. And sky blue. Very cool. Stop it. Okay. LCD screen, some bolts. Supposedly this has a real nice touch screen. We'll see. User manual, excellent. After service card. What is new? Oh, I also finally got a replacement keyboard for the laptop. I got tired of not being able to push the left and right arrow keys, and tired of the Ooh, that looks pretty slick. This is the. Let me give you guys a secondary view. Subject. So this is their new spool holder. That is injection molded. That looks pretty damn slick. It's got a foot, and it swivels, so you can fold it back for transport. Hey, Raphael. That looks pretty darn slick. We shall see. We shall see. Anything else in here? Yes. The handle for the top, aluminum. And there is the spool. Now that's cool. So the spool bolts directly in. Nice. I can dig that. I can dig that a lot. Oh, it can go in both directions. So you can put it on either side. Okay. That's kind of cool. I can dig that. Nothing else in here. That's the problem. I gotta get rid of all this foam. Okay. Ooh, those profiles look beautiful. Look how finished and polished these profiles. So basically, they didn't cut the extrusion out on the front here. So basically, these are all extruded. So when they extruded these channels, they just didn't extrude this channel here. They just have grooves instead. That actually looks really polished. And finally, Creality has gone to an optical end stop, or a Hall effect end stop, a non-mechanical end stop. Really, really happy to see that. Okay. This is very TiVo-esque. This hot end is very, very TiVo-esque. It's got a light to light up the hot end. Oh, that's very cool. Some lightning holes in some of the parts. This is your belt tension adjustment. Unified connector. Looks like they've upgraded the feeder. They've gone to a one of the E3D style hot end units here. Well, that'd be interesting to open that up. Is that bent, or is that just put at an angle? I think it's just put at an angle on purpose. Filament runout. This is your bridge. It is dual stepper, so you could get rid of that belt if it's a problem. I really love these extrusions. They're beautiful. Hey, that's a whole new hot end. Oh, that's interesting. That's a whole brand new hot end. Oh, we're going to need some close-ups of this. "3D printed moon." You want to get the files to 3D print your moon, or you want to buy a 3D printed moon? As always, very well packaged. They seem to have basically figured that out by now. Don't need that. Just a power cable. And it looks like it's basically just two pieces. Ooh, that is heavy. Oh man, it's heavy. I'm liking the drawer. I'm liking the drawer a lot. Oh, I like that a lot. Nice hefty feet. Their SDI surface. Is this bed removable? Oh, yes it is. Nice clip base. Nice thick carriage. Nice reinforced. Oh man, they really have made a lot of improvements. Holy shit. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Okay, let me get this down here. Anything else in here? Nope. That means I can chuck this over there to eventually go to a recycling yard. Okay, there are a tremendous number of very small but overall significant improvements that I see on this printer. So we're going to go over those right now. Actually, we're going to go over them on camera, and I'm going to record a video clip because I don't want to miss all of these later. Okay. Oh man, nice wide. Look at that. Is that 60? Is that booger 60? Yes, it is. Damn. Oh, that is unique. What the hell? Is that 2 pieces or 1 piece? I can't really tell. Oh my, I think it's 1 piece. Okay, so this has... Yeah, let's switch over. You guys don't need to be staring at me. This has a 60 by 40 by 40 by 20 extrusion. So it's a 60 by 20 sitting on top of a 40 by 20, and it's all 1 piece. So I'm going to show you on video in a moment, but it's literally this. It's literally this. So it's basically a 60 by 40 with a cutout on the bottom to make sure everything has a place to go. So to give you a view of that, there. So as you can see, it's 60 here, but it's 40 in here. And this is all 1 extrusion. Yeah, I can already tell you this is worth the price they're charging. There's a lot of work put into this. Holy crap. USB port up high, so they kept my advice from the Ender 3 Pro that I gave them. These are up high instead of down low, so easy access. They integrate the drawer. The drawer is integrated into the printer. They finally took the advice of CNC machining a cutout in the extrusion for the gantry to sit on, which is going to perfectly align those components and prevent them from moving. That just eliminated all the build inconsistency problems people have when assembling these printers, because as long as those machinings are done correctly, you can't build it wrong. If you guys remember my Ender 3 videos, you know that you have to align these 2 gantries to make sure they're straight. You don't have to do that anymore because TiVo did this, and I've been telling them they need to adopt the same technique of machining a cutout in the extrusion for it to fit. I believe it does have a silent board. Check out the bed. Integrated finger clamps. No more, shredding your fingers on those little tiny metal clips. So there's actual thumb paddles here. They pop open, and there's your bed. It pops right off, which means I can slap a piece of Wham Bam on here and no problem. And then, boom, your bed is back on. That easy. Hell yes. No, that plug is not inside the extrusion. There is an actual cutout gap right here in this box for this wire to exit. And there's another cutout gap for it to exit here. They built the IEC into the extrusion. This is a 40 by 40 extrusion. And they CNC cut out a hole for the IEC to fit directly into Why is this not, how could this not, there it goes. I was like, it's a broad, open, high contrast view. Focus. Focus, you fuck. Hi, kitty. So the IEC is on the side here instead of being in the back where it's hard to reach. Excellent. CNC machining. Excellent. I'm not sure why this bits of plastic are in here, but not here. I actually would encourage the use of this plastic stuff in the bottom rails and in here, for example, if it's not being used for something else, and it is not, because that'll keep debris from falling in here. Yeah, I saw that too, and that made me curious. So this does use the same bed system. Now, once I tighten, you can see this is loose, and that just comes loose during shipment. Once I tighten the eccentrics, that'll take care of that. No more springs. They're using solid pins now. And if I didn't know better, I would say the plate and the carriage plate are beefier. So how level is this? Perfectly level that way. Perfectly flat that way. So the plate is perfectly flat in every direction. No gap whatsoever. Very nice. I'm going to leave that off for now. Make it a little lighter. Little fine details, like this piece covering up this entire assembly. Not only does it make it look nicer, but these are all beveled edges. So you're not likely to have any kind of a cord snag on anything. And also, nothing is going to grab the micro switch and destroy it. I mean, this is very nicely done, thought out. They basically took all the advice we've been giving them for a while and incorporated it. Even these clips have incorporated the things that we've been asking for. The things that I've been asking for, at least. No snag. See? It's angled. This is a beveled edge here, so nothing to snag onto the cable. Here's your strain relief. Look at this. Fully integrated strain relief. I mean, this is absolutely rigid with proper strain relief on the end of the actual strain relief here. So you don't end up with that harsh bend. See, a lot of times what will happen is you'll put strain relief. You'll put strain relief on a cable like this, and your strain relief will end like this. And so you're just creating a new strain relief point right here where the wire enters your strain relief, and that's where the wire gets stressed. Well, this does what your typical cords do. It adds a portion to the strain relief that bends with the wire, like your normal typical cord would do. And here you can see that right here. Matter of fact, that's a good idea. Let me do this. Let me turn this way, like that. Let me bring this out a bit, and now I can take this camera and show you a close-up. So you can see proper strain relief. So now the end of the cable gives you proper bending of that cable. So that should reduce the propensity to destroy that cable. Now the only thing I'm worried about is, can I remove the wire from this? So can I maintain this? Can I replace this if necessary? I think I can, because this here is not integrated part of it. This is additional. You can see here's one of the zip ties holding it in place, so it should be possible to maintain this. Yeah, I'm super excited. Here you can see the machining. So when you put your gantry in on here, it will self-align, because as long as they machine this right, as long as they keep the quality control up, this eliminates the alignment issues when building an Ender 3 style printer. Custom grab-ins for the extrusions. That one's not quite fitting right. Did it break? No, it didn't break. Is following wooden door clips be problematic when you start putting in a flex system like Wham Bam? What do you mean, JC Productions? I don't understand. Here you can see these right here. These are what hold the bed in place. You can see they're angled. so nothing's going to snag. All right. Here's your shroud on the back to enclose the Y-axis. You can see everything is beveled. Everything has a chamfer. Everything has a 45 degree. So these wires won't grab onto anything. See? There's nothing for the wire to grab onto. Nothing to snag. Freaking excellent. And it looks good. Chiseled edges. Very nice. The bed does feel a little thicker. There are more even attachment points spread out and spaced evenly. So this bed is not going to get warped and distorted as it's assembled. I love the little clips here for installing the bed. Very nice. Although I'm going to put a wham bam on here. Nice caps on the end. Nice thick feet on the bottom. Access to your power supply switch here. Yes, I would remove these for a wham bam because they're not needed. Here is the ridiculous Y-rail and Creality. Ridiculous is my specialty. I love ridiculous. Okay? When you overkill, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Don't stop overkilling. Don't cheapen this printer. I freaking love this custom 60 by 40 by 40 by 20 T-rail. I'm going to call it a T-rail because it's T-shaped. You can see it's not a full 60 by 40. It's a 60 by 20 section and a 40 by 20 section. Freaking excellent. IEC built into the aluminum extrusion, so it's on the side for easy access. I like that. Although on a printer this size, on the back would have been fine. But people do like it on the side. Here's the switch. Well, I can't. I have to use both hands. Proper cutouts for these exit wires. So these exit wires have proper cutouts where they come out, so nothing's getting pinched. I freaking love this connection here. This is great. They retained the full-size SD card, and it's on top. Micro USB instead of mini A, and it's on top. Easy access. I like that. Look at this fully integrated, fully molded tension control. Just turn the knob. That's it. Very, very nice. You can see the profile here. This here is actually part of the profile. So this is actually part of the aluminum profile. This thing is heavy. See? It's a 60 by 40, 60 by 20 section here, and a 40 by 20 section here, and it's all one piece of aluminum, it looks like. Holy crap. Nice thick feet, thank you. I hate the scrawny feet that you normally use. These obviously need a little work, but they have their own custom little hold downs here. This side isn't grabbing for some reason. Oh, there it goes. It just had to be snapped and placed. There you go. So, custom rail hold downs. I would like to see Creality sell kits of these separately because people are going to want to buy these. These are nice. So that's going to be for your Z right there. Your entry port. Another entry port here. I'm getting that is for your homing sensor. Machined slot. Holy crap, they did a nice job. Nice smooth bottom. And with the thicker feet here, they got room for the exhaust fans to do their job. So your power supply exhaust fan and your brain box exhaust fan. This is your brain box. This is your power supply box. Yeah, it's going to be 24 volts. No question about that. And then here is your drawer that is built in. And they include goodies. So there is your spatula. Excellent tool to include. Oh my god, that's so freaking cute! Okay, I want 100 of these. It's even got a safety interlock. Look at that. Oh my god, AVE would be creaming in his pants right now. You hear me, AVE? You're creaming in your pants over this. Look at this. Oh my god, it's so cute. With the safety interlock. Oh my god, I want more of these. That is so awesome. It's on their Kickstarter. Check in the description of the video. Oh my god, that is so awesome. Oh, look at this. The Allen keys come in a little holder. Now, I would like to see them go back to the longer Allen keys with the ball ends. But if these are higher quality, I'm okay with that. Nice wrench. Like a legit wrench. And it's long. Which means you're going to be able to reach into here and get those eccentric nuts. Very, very awesome. SD card. It's that NETAC card. I would like to see them go to better quality cards, or if they can improve the quality control of these. Okay, we have here Bowden clips, grommets, and spare nozzles. I hope these nozzles use a standard threading, but they are weird nozzles. What is up with these nozzles? Okay, you guys need to see this. Oh, these flush cutters are more than cute. These are freaking adorable. I'm in love with these. They even have a safety interlock to keep them closed. Oh, I love these things. That is so... I want them in orange. Okay, what's up with these nozzles? The threading looks normal. It's got a larger mating surface, which I like. I like that larger mating surface. But look at the nozzle. It's a weird nozzle. See the profile? I wonder if the sock integrates with this. They really have so many improvements in one machine. They finally took all the advice. That is a really weird nozzle. I hope it's not proprietary. Please don't be proprietary. Of course, they got your little needle for getting screws taken out, or clogs taken out. Your SD card reader. Micro and full size. That's nice. Oh, this is interesting. A little wrench. Right there. A little two-ended wrench. I wonder if that's for the nozzle. You know, that's a good point. That does look like it might be better for the belt printer. And this is nicely designed that I'm going to keep the foam that they used in here, because the foam helps organize all these parts. All these parts fit in here very nicely. So I'm going to keep them. I love the drawer for all the parts. The drawer is fantastic. Hot damn, they did a good job. All right, let's check out the other end. And also, these clips everywhere. The reusable clips. All right, let's examine this part. Ah, I now see the reason for the change to the nozzle. This is what I suspected. They have a more properly integrated sock on the hot end. So this portion of the sock is designed to interface with the nozzle. See how very little of the nozzle is exposed outside the sock? This is going to reduce the propensity of these filaments from globbing onto the nozzle. I like the fact that the corners of the bed are cut a little bit because, again, less snagging, less cutting, less issues with bending, warping, and dinging. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. He's a good kitty. This is purely cosmetic, but I love these extrusions. They look beautiful. I also love the speed holes. Again, purely cosmetic, but it looks nice. So here is your end stop. So it's built into the hot end. No, this is for here. This is your Z. This passes the Hall effect sensor here. So that is your Z end stop. There's your normal end stop. Very TiVo-esque. LED to light up the hot end. I actually would have liked to have seen that LED maybe back here in a second cooling fan. But if this works well, then I'm happy with that. So it's just sheet metal. So you're not really making it hard to get to anything. You remove this sheet metal enclosure and you can get access to all the parts. Standard 4010 blower. Looks like a nice nozzle here. We'll see how well that works. I like the illuminated hot end a lot. If I would have done this, I would have had this up here, shining backwards, so that you're never looking directly at the LED, and I would have a second fan here, but again, not a big deal. In theory, this doesn't need two end stops because the tri-wheel assembly is kind of self-aligning. You'd have to screw up pretty badly to unalign the X and Y on this. So it doesn't really need two end stops. It would be nice, but it's not necessary. Let's look at the back here. So here's your breakout board, fully integrated. It looks like I got a production model too. I don't see any 3D printed parts. So it looks like this is intentionally angled. As you can see, it's all lined up. Feeder unit, filament detection runout, stepper motor, breakout board going to your individual parts. So this will connect to that main wire coming from the printer, that main wire right there. Look at this new hot end. This will be interesting to see how well this works. Come on, give me some slack here. There we go. That is interesting. So here's your sock and your hot end brick. It really does look very well thought out. I'm almost tempted to switch this to give you guys a better view. So here's a close-up of the hot end, and you can see how the funky nozzle works. There we go. So that funny shape is to work with this sock. As you see, when you put the sock on, the sock is flush with the nozzle. That should reduce the tendency to get blobs building up on the nozzle because the filament shouldn't stick to this. And it's probably PTFE lined if I had to guess. This is the LED to light up the hot end. Looks like it's modular, which is nice. Your cooling fan. Belt attachment. I'm kind of excited for this new hot end. This is this portion here. Your extruder stepper, your extruder feeder unit. Looks like this is how it locks in place. We are going to pull that apart and play with that. Condom. Gotta wear your condom. your breakout board, so your unified cable comes to here, and then it breaks out to your individual connections here. All nicely molded. Filament entry. I still would like to see a piece of PTFE tube here. So I would like to see them design that to accept a little 1-inch piece of PTFE tube, so you can have a sacrificial piece to get worn away instead of that getting worn away. This is the first printer I've seen where the machining quality looks good enough that you might get away with this belt drive. Normally the first thing I would do is remove this, but the machining on this printer is so nice, they might actually get away with that. Ew. Tensioning. So you just turn this to tighten up the belt. Plate alignment looks good. Sufficient gap to make sure nothing touches. Fully molded end pieces. And that might actually even help with alignment. Jeez. They really went all out on this. Here's the really cool part. This here will fit into these extrusion portions here. So when you go to build this printer, let's switch back to this view. Oh, this view. Here we go. So when you go to build this, these pieces here will fit right into these machine parts right here. Just like that. So because they fit into these machined grooves here, this should completely eliminate any problems with aligning these verticals. Now this is something I was curious about. What is this thing? Let's get this lowered so I can take that apart. Okay. So how does this work? Oh, please tell me this is a dual drive. I don't think it is, but... So is it as simple as remove a couple cables? Let's find out. Nope, it's going to be number 2. No, it is number 1. That's a really tiny bolt. Okay, there's that bolt. That's going to be number 4. No, number 3. It's smaller than it looks. Oh, go big or go home, right? This is where the ball end would come in handy, Creality. As you can see, it touches your lead screw. If this is a ball end, I could tilt that a little bit. So I would like to see you include ball end wrenches, quality ball end wrenches. Not junk, please. Be careful, there is a spacer in here. Spacers! Is that plastic? Yes, it's plastic. So there is a spacer in here. So do not lose that. That does not want to come off, which means this is part of it. My fear is I pull this apart and a little piece goes flying somewhere. Okay. So we have an arm and another spacer. Spacers! This should now come off. Yes. There is another spacer right here. Be careful. This is the arm. There is a spring, and it is a standard extruder. Okay, that's for the spring. Okay, so the spring sits in here. There's another piece there. I hope I can figure out how to put this back together. Oh boy. Oh, that's the adjustment for the spring. Boy, that's going to be fun figuring out how to put that back together. Okay, I'm not a super big fan of that. That's going to be fun. But I'm pretty sure this goes into here. And then this compresses the spring. Oh boy, that's going to be fun trying to put that back together. Well, we're in there. Let's take a look. Okay, I do like that. So here is the guts of the feeder unit. And that right there is a good sign. Let me get a wrench to point to this so you can see what I'm talking about. This right here is a good sign. Because this right here should mean flexible compatible. That is a very tight integration between the exit and the drive gear. So this should be very flexible friendly. As long as these tolerances are ultra tight, this will be flexible friendly. The one thing I don't like is that working on this is going to be difficult because you have to take it apart to work on it. And I can see that being a real pain in the butt to work on. Well, you can't take a photo of the original arrangement because it's internal. It's inside this. So you can't actually see the original arrangement. So I'm going to have to guess a little bit. This new feeder unit looks very nice, but it does not look very maintenance friendly. Is there a breakdown of it? What the? Oh, front and back, okay. Okay, no breakdown in there for this part, so we are just going to have to play by ear to put it back together. But it looks like it actually shifts the entire piece. See, one of the problems with a very tight filament path is that when you're putting the filament in, if it does not hit the other end of that hole exactly right, it's hard to feed it in. By shifting the entire thing, it makes it much easier to install the filament. So that is a good thing. I know, that's going to make it much easier to feed filament into this machine. That's a good thing. I just wish it was a little more open, because I can see this being a royal pain in the butt to assemble. Let me see what this piece looks like here. So it does look like this piece sits right in here like that. Is this supposed to be upside down? No, it's supposed to sit just like that. Okay, so this sits in here just like that. You can see here. I don't know if you can see that. This piece here, you see the hole there? Well, that hole is part of the design. It's not so much, I think it's the nature of how they designed it that has to be like that. So you can see this piece here. See how it's got the hole for the screw? And it's got the depression for the spring. Okay? So that piece is going to fit right in there, right over the hole. So alignment of that is pretty easy. Now, as you can see, when I install the screw, it comes through just like that. And then the lever arm, then you have a second one of these that sits here like this. Not sure exactly how that goes. Oh, I see how this goes. Oh, okay. So this is going to fit. That's why it was looking a little weird. This is going to fit in here just like this. See how that has a chamfered edge right there? Well, that chamfered edge fits right in here like that. See? So how does that work? Well, when I tighten this down, let me give you a better view of this. When I tighten this down, watch what happens to the other piece. See how the other piece moves? Okay? So when you tighten this down, it moves this piece, which increases the tension on the spring. Very nice. My only issue is, what holds the spring? The arm. But doesn't the arm go down here? This looks like it fits in here. Okay, what does that do? Where is this? I need a picture of that. That's right. This sits flush. There it goes. So that sits there like that. So how does it integrate with the spring? How does the spring work? Oh, the spring pushes against here. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how this works because I'm curious. The spring fits in that cup there. Aha! Now I see how it works. So the spring applies tension to this entire box. Very cool. Okay, now it makes sense. So here's your entry point. It's a pretty big gap, but that's okay because that's the entry point. What's important is that the exit has no gap. And that looks like a very tight exit point. So while it's not super user friendly, the feeder unit does look pretty well thought out. So you do not need to remove this at all. to take this apart. So this here, this little screw here, does not have to be removed at all to take this apart. How can I get you guys, oh, I can get you guys a better view. I can put this on here. There we go. There you go. Now you go. I love multiple cameras. This is very handy. Okay. So this fits in here like this. Creality sent it to me, Jaden. So this printer was provided free of charge by Creality in exchange for me making this video. That's how I work on this. That's how I work on this channel. Manufacturers send me printers, and I provide review videos, and I give them feedback on how to improve them. Yep, okay, now I see how that works. So this spring fits in the cup on here, and then it also fits in a cup on here. Boy, assembling this is going to be a bitch. Actually, no, it's not. That doesn't look that hard at all, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, no problem, actually. Because I was worried about this dropping out, but that's not a problem because you can leave that screwed in. Oh, you can see how this works. Let me give you a close-up on how this works. So it's two 45-degree units here, and when I tighten this, you can see as that pulls down, this here will push out. See? See how that piece there? See how this piece here is pushing out? That's how you get your spring tension. I don't think I have that many, probably close to 140. Okay, so we get that fully loosened up. Your pulley is much better supported. You can see all the reinforcement ribs in here. So this feeder unit should hold up over time. So I think the best way to assemble this is going to be to line it up like this, put the spring on here like this, and then work the spring in like this. Maybe put the spring in here first. Yeah. Boy, lining the spring up is going to be a real bear. Because it has to go in there. Oh, that's not so bad. Okay, I can do that. No, I can't. Boy, how the hell am I going to get that spring in there? Wait, getting this on here is going to be interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Here, got it. Nope. I do not know how I'm going to finagle this spring into place. Play with the wrench. Okay. So how do I make the spring go where it needs to go? I mean, they assembled this, so clearly it's possible. It's just a matter of figuring out the technique. You get the spring to go into place. How do I make the spring go in? There's not enough room for you in those pliers. There's no gap. Whoop, let me get rid of this. I mean, I've got needle nose right here, but I can't see a way of getting the spring to stay horizontal. There is enough room. Is it as simple as this? Oh my god, it might be as simple as that. Nope. I got to get the spring to... Oh, wait a minute. I know how to do it. I got it. So if I grab it like this, I think this might work. Yep, I think that might work. Oh, it was close. Got it. All right, so you gotta really play with that spring and then seat it in the cup. So the way I did that was I had right there. So this, I had this angled up like this. I partially compressed the spring, got it in this cup, and then popped it into that cup. And then when I pushed down, it popped into place. So that is a bear. You're going to have a bear of a time working with that. It's doable. It's just you got to figure out the little technique. I've dealt with much more difficult. All right, so the double cup goes in this portion here, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe the single cup goes in this one. Yes, okay. So single cup goes in the arm, double cup goes in the base. And I almost lost those parts. The arm simply fits directly in here. And then your cup goes in here. Okay. I believe that's how that goes. It's serviceable. You just have to know the trick. It's just a matter of figuring out the trick. So it's not horrible. It's just new. Why does that not feel right? That does not feel right. Is that supposed to be sticking up like that? I thought that was supposed to be fully recessed. No, it can't be. Yes, this was already together. I just took it apart to see how it works. So is that the wrong component here? I think maybe this one goes there. Yes. So I was right. The double step one goes here. Okay. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. That's actually a pretty interesting mechanism. These were pretty tight, so I'm going to put them back pretty tight. Well, they should. That's what a company's supposed to do. As long as they make good product, I support it. So, as you can see, this whole entire box, see how this whole entire box moves? Okay, that's your spring tension. This whole entire box is your spring arm. This just locks the spring arm in place. So when you want to put filament in, you pull this lever out, which forces the box into the spring open position. You can now insert filament, and then you're ready to go. That's it. I got to tighten up the spring. I have this at maximum looseness. I'll show you the auto bed leveling in a second. It's pretty cool. Yeah, if they if they built a CR10 using all of this, that would be amazing. Okay, so this gives you your pushes everything out of alignment, so you can feed your filament in, and then you're ready to print. Very cool. Bowden assembly. I'm not a fan of not being able to access that clip. You have to take this apart to access that. Not a fan of that. We will see how that works over time. But we managed to put it together without breaking it. Okay. Now you guys want to see the brain board? Hi, baby. Yeah. You're such a good cat. Okay. Let's get into the brain box. Looks like it's simply 3 screws. It's going to be a number 2. A matter of money and learning. You know, they don't know how to make 3D printers. Now they do. Okay. So it took them time to learn how to do this, with lots and lots and lots of feedback from us. This is not overpriced at all. The quality control and the features I'm seeing, it's a bargain at $300, $350. We'll have to do that switch in a moment, but first we are going to inspect the insides. Okay, longer screw in the back. Okay, what am I missing? Is there another screw? Yes, there might be another screw. I don't think that screw is attached to this, though. That's a top plate. Okay. Does it slide? I think it might just be pinched. Why can't I get this open? Oh, there is a top screw. Okay. So this screw here has to come out as well. We are about to find out. There we go. Okay. Do be careful of your fan. Number 2 slot. Oh, that's a nice fan too. That is a decent fan on there. And I do believe we have dual Z steppers on this. And it looks like the built-in MOSFET also has a stepper. So XYZ, Z, extruder, MOSFET, heat bed. No, I'm guessing one of these is for the hot end and one of these is for the heat bed. So they are doing a split loom for the the Z motor. Okay, let me show you guys what's in here. Hey, Mandy. Not yet. The hot end is a bit difficult to interact with, but I think you guys will evolve that over time. But right now, I don't have any questions yet. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. So if I had to guess, I'd say XYZE, and then one of these is hot end and one of these is extruder. It looks like instead of going with an external MOSFET, they've simply beefed up the built-in MOSFETs on the printer. On the one hand, that does lower their supply costs. How big do you need for a CR6 Max? Mandy, I do not know if this is practical for you to do. This is my desire, not necessarily financially practical, but I would love to see another larger printer, 600 by 600 by 600. That would be amazing. I'm pretty sure this is TMC drivers built in. I would love to see something big to allow very large printing, but from a practical standpoint, you're probably better off something with the S4 Chiron size. So 400 by 400 by 450 would probably be your best size from a financial point of view versus customers buying it point of view. So a CR6 Max in the 400 by 400 by 450 range would probably be ideal. As much as I would like a 6 by 6 by 6, I don't know if that's financially practical from a business point of view. I believe this is going to be around approximately 350 is a guess. You can check their Kickstarter pricing. We don't know how final that's going to be. Oh, don't sell your Ender 5. The Ender 5 is a badass printer. So the cables do look like nice silicone cables. These are your unified connectors. These are your other connectors. It looks like Z1 and Z2. Yes. So they've integrated the splitting into the board. So this does look like a new board. Creality 3 version 2.6.3. Come on. Focus, you fuck. There it is. The early bird was like 280. I missed it by one. I was looking at buying the early bird off the Kickstarter just so I could have two, and I clicked pledge and someone else got it like 3 seconds before I clicked it. I wonder what this is for. LCD screen. I bet you this goes to the LCD screen. Love the full size SD card slot. But overall, there is your board. Well, this is a bed slinger, so it's not gonna it's gonna have a tough time keeping up with an Ender 5 as far as raw print quality, but it should be pretty close. Let me get a picture of that. What chip is what? Oh, the main chip. Let me see if I can get that. It's an Atmega 2560. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on this. That is an Atmega 2560. Need a little bit more Z though. You want the Z to be 450 or 500. Because at a 400 by 400 X and Y, Z becomes your limiting factor. So you really want to be 450 or 500. Okay. Overall, very nice. I have no obvious complaints about that. What am I missing here? There we go. Cactus wants to sleep. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good kitty cat. I can't wait for the CR30. That is going to change everything. Because 8-bit works fine. For the most part, there's no reason to use a 32-bit. Actually, the only reason to use a 32-bit board now is that it's cheaper. Otherwise, 8-bit's fine. Nothing you're doing on a 3D printer exceeds what an 8-bit machine can do. Okay, let's get this thing assembled. I think it's about time we... Oh, wait a minute. Let's check out the power supply while we're here. Let me finish putting that one screw back in. I'm not sure why they have this screw here. It's a little bit of an oddity. Almost like it's superfluous. Like, why have it at all? Probably just to keep things tight. Because aligning it is a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to leave it out. I don't really see a need for that screw to even be there. Nothing we do exceeds its capabilities. That's why, reality. I mean, if you're running multiple extruders and a delta and other kind of fancy things, then yeah, maybe you could use, the power that's in a 32-bit. I'll get that later. I know what the problem is. I tightened up the other ones too early. But I'm not worried about it. Power supply. Well, only because Marlin is volunteer based. So as people get away from 8-bit toward 32-bit, there's no point in maintaining double forks. Their programmers' time would be better spent concentrating on the future hardware. That's not a superiority of 8-bit or a necessity for 32-bit. That's just the way the market's going. The more Marlin can focus their attention on current hardware, the more they can focus on features and improvements. I mean, they're going to switch to 32-bit eventually. Everything's going to be 32-bit just because 32-bit's cheaper. And as we think of more things to do with these printers, we can take advantage of a 32-bit board. So it's not false. That would be the incorrect choice of words. Obvious and inevitable, yes, but not false. There we go. And that is a genuine Meanwhile power supply, LRS 35024. Thank you. Oh, that makes me happy. Genuine Meanwhile. Please keep using. Ah! There we go. Same speed. Eventually, as 64-bit chips get cheaper and cheaper, and legacy 32-bit chips get more and more expensive relative, we'll probably switch to 64-bit. Exactly. And that will be nice as we figure out more and more things to do with these printers. Eventually, they'll all be 32-bit. Boy, these feel like they're stripping. These screws always suck. I hate these little mushroom head screws. They just suck. But not the end of the world. It says excellent connection. Why? Is there any problem with the stream? Is everything okay on your guys' end? Is it back? Yeah, I'm seeing a whole bunch of chat coming through, so it looks like there was a lag. Okay, that's a big lag. 4 by 5. 400 by 400 by 500 would be really nice. Okay, last thing to do on the bottom here is to check the switch. Switch that to 115. Here we go. Okay. Let's get this on here. You guys ready for your little bit of prawn here? I'm going to give you guys a close-up. Oh, yeah. You know you guys like it like that. You weirdos. There we go. What did he do? I don't know. We'll find out when we get the LCDs plugged in. You guys ready for that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it goes. It does look like Ultra Base. It's the same thing as Ultra Base. So that is the same kind of surface that Ultra Base uses. Okay. Unified connector, hot end connector. Okay. So we are going to need the bolts. No, I didn't. Send me an email. Better? No. Different? Yes. Advantages? Some. I'm guessing 2 of those are for the LCD screen, 2 of those are for unknown. We're going to get rid of these washers, since I don't like the washers. Their magnetic print beds suck. I like the fact that they include a glass plate that the user can choose to replace if they wish. All you got to do is remove this and you can put on here whatever you want. So I like having both options. While if they include their glass bed on here, their magnetic bed, now you're stuck with their magnetic bed. Yeah, I know. We'll get to that in a minute. I love this. This is great. The extruder, every part of the extruder is different. If you watch earlier parts of the stream, you'll see close-ups of that, but every single part of the extruder is different. From the feeder unit all the way to the hot end. And not bad either. I already did the switch to 115. Okay. This is most likely going to be a number 5. Yes. Okay. I'll show you how the leveling system works in a moment. That is something you're going to really like. Yes, but I prefer a build tack style sticker versus PEI. I was able to thread these screws all the way in by hand, which means the machining is very good. So I have no complaints there. It uses a strain gauge on the hot end, and the nozzle physically touches. And this should be, in theory, true auto bed leveling, meaning you shouldn't have to adjust anything, in theory. PEI has its advantages. but it's very sensitive to bed leveling. Well, they put, this is kind of like the, you know what this is similar to? Not similar, the printer itself isn't similar to. But what they did is similar. Similar to the TiVo Flash. When they built the TiVo Flash, they threw the kitchen sink at it. They said, money is no object, make the best printer you can make, and they did. That's what Creality did here. They threw money at this and said, let's make the best printer we can. And so far, it looks like they may have nailed it. It has an Atmega 2560 2.6.3 Creality board. Raptor. I will be posting pictures to Twitter. Actually, I'll do that right now. If you log into my Twitter, you'll see the pictures. Hang on. There you go. I just posted them to Twitter. So you can, Raptor, you can see close-ups of the Creality board inside here. Well, the two I got both the manual version and the fully upgraded version, and both of them were just spot on perfect. No issues. And that's because they put money into it. They actually did a good job on it. And this is, Creality is what they did here. They took every piece of good advice they've received over the last 5 years, and they integrated it into this printer. Which is fantastic. If it works. And from what I understand, nobody's had a problem with it yet. You're probably better off just going with the 32-bit board and just dropping the 8-bit, because the 8-bits are going to get more and more expensive as the 32-bits get cheaper and cheaper. Any sort of sponginess might be a problem, but you can adjust that with the offset. No, right now this is only available on Kickstarter. Hopefully, if it succeeds, this will become a regular thing. Don't forget to check all your extra bolts, make sure they're tight, because things do come loose in shipment. Use 3D printing at Nerese.com. 3D printing at Nancy Echo Romeo Yankee Sam.com. They didn't give me any info. They just said, hey, we're going to send you the printer. I was like, okay. And I actually prefer it that way. I haven't even watched anybody else's streams yet or videos. I was very tempted to watch Joel's video that he posted 5 hours ago, but I decided to, 6 hours ago, I decided not to watch it. I wanted to have my own experience with it. These were a little loose, so you will need to tighten these up. That's normal for something being shipped 15,000 miles. Okay. Well, let me double check these down here. Yep, they need a little bit of tightening too. Oh, that's all right. It is pretty hidden. This thing is so freaking rigid. This is where the advantage really comes in. So if you look here on this other view, right there, because they machined a channel for this rail to fit into this rail, that completely eliminates all the problems we have with an Ender 3. And getting these parts to align. As long as they machine that slot correctly at the factory, this machine is self-aligning. This is fantastic. This does not need angled bracing. This does not need additional structure. The 2 bolts plus the machine slot mean this is going to be extraordinarily strong with no wiggle. Look at this. I'm bending the table to put force on this thing. And that joint is not flexing at all. This is excellent. Naomi has attitude, and that's part of her appeal. So you're either going to love it or hate it. What is wrong with your Amazon store? I didn't know anything was wrong with my Amazon store. My Amazon store seems to work fine. It seems to work okay for me. So, very, very strong. Now, how do we take this apart? Is it as simple as that? 2 bolts? Really? This kind of machine shouldn't need backlash compensation. But no, it does not have any sort of built-in backlash compensation. But that should not be an issue. No, I didn't watch the Kickstarter video. I made it a point not to watch anything before this stream. Watch you get 2x. Well, only until you catch up to real time. Ow. Maybe. I got a 66-inch chest. Okay. Do be careful of the fan. Oh, I am liking this. Looks like a 30 by 30 by 10 fan. Why won't this focus on this? I know it can focus that close. There it goes. So here's your unified connector and your breakout board. Looks like there's actual chips on here. I wonder. Oh, I bet you that's part of the strain gauge. Here is the magic. Okay, this here is your strain gauge. This metal thing here. If you look, you can see that is able to move. See that? Why? Focus, you fuck. So when the nozzle touches, this is distorted slightly. And that is an actual strain gauge, and that determines when it touches very, very precisely. Far more precisely than a switch. There's the focus. Very nice. Now, the only thing I don't like is, how do you get to this? Oh, is it just a plastic shroud? Like, what is this? Whatever this was, it was loose. Well, let's find out. Yes, it does. So it is a PTFE lined hot end. There we go. That's an interesting design choice. That's a completely new design. That's weird. I wonder if this is something that's custom in-house, or did they buy this? Oh, it looks like there is a stop at the bottom there. No, it does. Looks like it goes all the way through. There we go. I'm not a fan of sensorless homing. I don't think it's very accurate. I mean, it works, but I prefer switches. For now. I agree. I love the bed clips. No more finger busters. Look at that. Go try to do that to your CR10S Pro or your CRX. It's going to tear your fingers apart. You got to basically use a tool to get them off. These fingers. Very nice. So, I'm going to assume that we're going to do this the same way I always do it. Tighten it all the way, then loosen it. 2 full turns. Insert the PTFE is flat. Yes. Insert the tube all the way. Why isn't it inserting? Why can't I get it to go in there? Got a nail I need to clip. I want many of these. I love these little clippers. These are so freaking adorable. It's ridiculous. They're also very good nail trimmers. Why can't I get this to go in? Oh, it's a very tight fit. Yes. That entire piece there, that whole thing, all this silver metal you see here, that's the strain gauge. It's very stiff. You won't be able to bend that with your own hands. But it will be able to sense that slight distortion when it touches the bed. Okay, I cannot get this PTFE tube to go in. That's very weird. I think the end is slightly flared out. Just a hair. I think it's flaring just enough to keep it from going in. So it looks like it's a very, very snug fit. There it goes. Yeah, that was just a very tight fit. Correct. The reason this, see the cutout? See how it's cut out all the way around? Okay. So the printer is attached to this piece of metal, and the hot end is attached to this piece of metal here. This piece of metal connects to this piece of metal at this joint right here. So that right there, that joint, that's the strain gauge. Well, the only problem is you're not going to get this till August. So you might want to grab that artillery and then order one of these. Tight, loosen up 2 turns, slide all the way in. Get that locked in place. Then finish tightening up the compression fitting. And we should be good to go. Will this wrench fit? No, it will not. Yes, it will. And there we go. We are tight. I don't know how delicate this strain gauge is, so I wouldn't go wrenching on this too tightly. I'm guessing that this circuitry here is for the strain gauge. Otherwise, it's just a pass-through for our connections here. Because of this breakout board, it should be pretty easy to swap hot ends on this machine. No, it's not Bondtech style. It's their normal bearing and brass gear style, but it is a much better design, so it should be very flexible, compatible. Be very careful with what, Pedro? Not to wreck this. Yeah, I could imagine whacking this would be a bad thing. It looks like it's a plug. You can put any hot end you want on here. As long as it bolts to those two bolt holes, the leveling system will work. Looks like this is their strain gauge right here. So, yep, that's the strain gauge. So it is just a regular plug, so it is something replaceable. Yeah, I can imagine this would be pretty delicate if handled the wrong way. The LED is plug and play replaceable. I like that. There you go. So the LED can be easily replaced. And then the LED snaps into this little fitting here. You stop dropping on me. Come on, get in there. There we go. All right, let's get this back together. The solid bed mounts, no springs. And if machined correctly, that should work just fine. Hopefully it's just a nice white, not RGB. Yeah, they are solid bed mounts. Reliability most likely. All metal hot ends are a pain in the ass, while Teflon lined hot ends, assuming they're assembled correctly, are extremely forgiving. And being forgiving is pretty important at this stage, because you want to have the fewest problems as possible. It's blue? I'm going to want to replace that with a white one. Okay, I think we are just about ready. So, all right. They did tell me there is a specific way. That's one thing they did tell me. There is a specific way this needs to be connected. Hopefully, in the final release, they will use an asymmetric cable. Creality. Nope, that's not the message. There's the message train. There it is. Okay, so I need to connect it this way. Okay. And that is the way they have it on here. So when you plug in this wire, 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Correct, Jason Smith. Thank you. Not pink or orange. Nah, it's just whatever I grabbed off the bed last night when I got a shower. So that is plugged in. I'm guessing this is for the LCD screen. Here is our stepper connection. I like that it's interior here, so it's not exposed and in the way. That is connected. This is pre-connected. Yes. Pre-connected. Switch to 115 volts. That's going to be our LCD screen. Let's wire up the primary harness. Okay. So we are first going to go to here. And then we are going to go to here. Built-in clips. I am pleased with the inclusion of built-in clips like this. Yes, spare nozzles are all the same size. Hopefully they will start including some other size nozzles. I would like some bigger nozzles. Maybe even some finer nozzles. All right, get that all twisted the right direction. Okay, that all looks good. That is clamped down tight. Okay. This thing is so stiff, it's amazing. I like a stiff printer. We might as well do our bed adjustment while we're here. There is my eccentrics. There we go. That one could use a little tightening. There we go. Bed tight, no wobble, no dips. How are these? Those feel good. That feels a little bit tighter than I would like. That feels pretty good. Yes, I like that. Okay. This one feels nice. I like it. This shouldn't need any kind of strain relief. It's attached to this. This entire cable is pretty resistant. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. I guess we'll find out over time. But I think this will be okay. Where that cable is a little on the short side. Oh, no, it fits. Okay, we're good. This should be able to handle ABS. As with any printer, you need an enclosure to properly do ABS. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's fine. I would like to see you unify your nozzles across the board. So if you're going to switch to this new nozzle, do it everywhere. And then release everything from 0.15 all the way to 1.2. It'd be better for your supply chain if you didn't have to have different kinds of nozzles for different printers. If you could have a unified set of nozzles across the whole line. I will try that. Absolutely, because I think this should, in theory, be very flexible compatible. These are number 4s. Just keep them M6 compatible so people can use third-party nozzles. Don't use a proprietary thread, please. Probably 110, 120. It's a mean well power supply, so it should be able to reliably hit temperatures like that. We will test that. Okay, that is done. Anything else? How's the carriage? Carriage feels a little tight. I want to loosen that a little bit. There we go. And I can turn the wheels. Good. Give you guys a suggestion. Let me show you how you do. Might as well give you guys a little extra here. We're going to do that from here. Okay. So, it's time to tighten up your bed knob, your wheels. Okay? What you want to do is you want to turn this until it's loose. See how it wobbles? That's good. You want a wobble. Okay? Then what you do is you tighten it just until the wobble goes away. There. Wobble stopped. Now to verify it, you should be able to grab these top wheels and make them turn. See how I can make them turn? And it's not that hard. Okay? If you can't turn these wheels easily by hand, this is too tight. And you're going to wear your wheels out and you're going to introduce noise into the print. So by doing it, you tighten it only enough for this to stop wobbling. See how there's no wobble? See how it's nice and firm? But I can still turn these wheels. Okay, that's important. That's how you know you have that tightened correctly. And that applies everywhere on the printer. Bigger nozzles are better at everything except quality. Bigger nozzles allow you to print faster. So unify your nozzles across the entire stream. Make sure you use a standard M6 thread that every other printer uses, and then release everything from 0.15 all the way to 1.2. In fact, you might even want to consider doing your own Volcano nozzles for your bigger printers. Because a 1.5 millimeter nozzle on a Volcano would be a very nice little addition. Printer is booting up. That means it's already on. Now, does this just latch in? I think it does. Yes, it does just latch in. Okay. Which means I'm going to want to put this back here. Right there. It does latch in. Oh, I like that a lot. And I can angle it. Oh, I like this a lot. The new spool holder is a win. I'll reserve final judgment, but for now, that new spool holder looking like a win. Well, the fan is pretty loud. I definitely hear that little 30mm fan going pretty strong there. I think the only one I hear is this one. This fan is silent. I can barely hear that at all. Power supply fan has not turned on yet. Hot end fan is noisy. So if we could quiet up that hot end fan, that'd be a good thing. It's not noisy like it's bad. It's noisy like it's fast. So, I don't know. You have to do some internal testing to see if a slower CFM fan still provides adequate cooling, but that's pretty noisy relative to the rest of the printer. I love the nippers. Blue handles would be nice, though. But I love the nippers. I love the nippers so much. Oh, wait a minute. We got the handle. I don't know if you need it because you could just grab the whole thing, but then you're messing with the belt. So I could understand that being an issue. I'm guessing that is what these are for. No, the fans are not silent. The brainboard fan is silent. I can't hear that. But the little 30-30-10 fan is pretty loud. I'm sorry, man. Agreed. There's no reason to run it continuously. But then again, why is your printer on if you're not running it? What do you mean? Explain how the extruder works, Armando. Give me a more specific question. I will do my best to answer. That is a number 4. Huh. Yeah, all Creality machines do that. They don't have temperature. They don't have thermal control for their fans. I never did make sure these are tight. So I'm going to double check these. Make sure they're nice and tight. Alcohol, microfiber. Make sure the bed's nice and clean. You should not need them, but I don't see a problem with the damper here, and I don't see a problem with the damper here, so you should be able to put dampers on this. But it has trinamic drivers, so you shouldn't need that. Going off topic is fine. I'm totally okay with going off topic, Edutech. Yeah, that's kind of a founding principle of this channel. Yes, it is switched to 110, but we will not discuss modern politics. Basically, if it happened in the last 40 years, basically, if it happened before I was born, we can discuss it. If it happened after I was born and it's related to politics, off limits. Unless we're talking about recipes. I'm totally willing to go all politics. I can show you guys how to cut them up. I can show you how to get good cuts, how to season them, how to cook them. You know, we're totally okay with that. I really, really love these little nippers. If anybody finds a source for where to buy these little tiny nippers, please let me know, especially if I can get them in orange. But I love these nippers. These are awesome. The only thing I don't like is that the reason I love the blue ones so much, one of the reasons that I like them so much, is because of how wide they let you open. See how wide they open? While these have a very restricted amount, that's it. They don't open any wider than that. So if you guys could figure out how to get this in this, that'd be great. But otherwise, I love these. This is awesome. And this is actually useful enough that I'm going to keep the foam in here for all the tools because it gives you a spot to put everything and it works fantastically. This is beautiful. That's just a really nice touch. I love that. Nice. I can see people 3D printing this to add custom slots and stuff like that. Yeah, this is nice. I like. Let me turn this so you guys can better see it. And give you guys a better view. So you get printer view and you get kitty view. Seriously? Come on. There we go. They're $6.30 on Amazon. Give me a link. Based on quality control alone, I would say yes, but I can't really give you a decision until I've used it for a while. You'll notice that I don't really review printers in the normal way. Thank you. I give printers a safe to buy or a not safe to buy because anything else is subjective. A cat bus printer. All right, time for the real test. How easy is it to install filament? So, open that. Sensor has activated. Thank you. What the? Oh, it's still a pain in the butt to get the filament through there. Let's get it angled. I was hoping filament insertion would be a little bit easier. It's not. It's not going in. And because we do not have clean access inside of here, how do you make it go in? There it goes. Very tight fit. Boy, very tight fit. Okay, so we should be able to do that. Clean insertion, okay. This is all in Chinese, so I'm guessing tools, info. Not there. Language, here we go, English. There we go. Nozzle temp, fan, PLA warm-up settings. PLA nozzle temp, I prefer 220. Bed temp, I prefer 65 on a bed like this. Well, I think 60 will work. Save parameters, that's nice. ABS warm-up. nozzle 245, bed 195, save parameters. I do like I can save that. LED on or off. It is blue. Not a fan of that. I would like to see you guys include a white LED. Is there something I can press to make music? I bet you I can. Hang on. Now you make me want to have to do it. It's all the same note, though. I did. That's here. So what you're talking about is this arm here. Right here, see? That's supposed to loosen it up. And then you just flip it back when you're done. It's a bit loose. But I was able to insert it, but it was a tough insertion. It would be nice if it played different notes for different numbers so you could play music with it. I wonder if we can control that speaker to play music. That'd be cool. Okay, I'm guessing the first thing we're going to do is level. And you pick your Z offset. I'm going to leave it at 0.3. Auto level. A nozzle heating up shouldn't really be necessary for a leveling, but bed heating up is. Oh, let's find out. Probably. No, I don't want to mess up the auto bed leveling right now, so we'll wait until that's done. Well, that is definitely quiet. That is very quiet. Make sure the nozzle is clean. That's why it's heating up the nozzle. It's heating up the nozzle so it can squish any boogers that might be on there. That makes sense now. And that's also why it went to 120. Just enough to be able to melt plastic on the tip. That's exactly why they did it. Oh, that is sensitive. It barely touched it and it detected it. Oh, I'm impressed. Look at it. It's barely touching it and it's sensing it. I'm impressed. Yep, we opened everything up. We took it all apart. You gotta take it all apart. I'll probably create a table of contents later so people can jump to parts. Oh man, that is working fantastically. No, it should not have to run this routine every print. You should only have to run this routine once. No, it is using an actual legitimate strain gauge. You'll be able to see that earlier in the video, but it's using an actual strain gauge. So the nozzle touching the bed is physically triggering it. What did I do with the SD card? Is it still in here? Yes. Okay. Let us see what is on here. The best food deal I ever got is a toss-up between the thick center cut boneless pork chops, $1 a pound, or the PG Tips tea, 160 tea bags for $1. Yeah, those were two really good deals. And also yesterday, a dozen large eggs, 50 cents. I got 15 dozen eggs. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at 0.3 because we should be able to adjust that later if we need to. Your offset will be for squish. And it's a full-size SD card, yes. Thank you so much for switching to full-size SD card. It is just so much more convenient to interact with one of these versus interacting with one of these. It's just so much more convenient. I mean, I keep my SD cards in a case like this. So this is all my SD cards. So I can stick this one back in here. And this one back here. So there's all my SD cards. Absolutely. So let's switch to this view and give you guys a full screen of the UI. Come on. Focus. There we go. The autofocus on this thing sucks. I mean, that's a high contrast image. That should not be a focus problem. There we go. Okay. I need some air. Jesus. Uh-oh. What was Walmart out of stock on? They were out of stock on the 32-ounce broccoli, and they were out of stock on the 12-ounce broccoli cauliflower. But I did get the 4 broccoli cauliflowers. I did get the 4 broccolis. I did get the hamburgers. I did get the 4 California veggie mix. Good. I'm okay with that. Walmart grocery order. I'm stocking up on veggies and meats. And they had the chicken. Yes, they had the chicken. Thinking about placing another order for chicken for tomorrow. Yeah, the glare from straight on was probably the problem. And let me get a little air here. Okay. Boy, I didn't need, it's 82 degrees out, and I didn't need to turn on the air conditioner until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I love living in New Mexico. It's going to be a while before I can run a farm because I really need 200 amp service. But good news is I do have 2-gauge copper wire going to the house, which means I can put a 100 amp breaker in, which is fantastic. I also got the water heater in for my bum gun, so I'll get my bum gun going soon. I also have all the gas parts to get my stove going, so hopefully I'll have an actual stove soon. Okay, so there is nothing on here at all. No instruction manuals, no nothing. Interesting. And there is a whole bunch of G-code files, though. So let's switch over to Simplify 3D, and let's see what is on the G-codes. I was here last summer in August. It was 94 degrees out, and I only needed a 500-watt air conditioner, and it only got hot about 6, 7 o'clock at night. It started to get a tiny bit hot. Now that I have a 12,000 BTU mini split, I won't have any problems at all. Well, this is the optimal size. Okay, there's a reason the Prusa is the size it is, and there's a reason this is the size it is, because this is an optimal size for a general purpose printer. Print a Benchy, print a Benchy. Benchy takes an hour and a half, so we don't usually do Benchies. Okay, now somebody said this was 235 by 250. So we will start off with my Ender 5 profile. CR6SE. I'm going to start off with a 0.92 like I normally do. 7 and 8 looks good to me. 3, 3 and 3 looks good to me. Skirt 1, let's go 2 outlines, 10 millimeters from the part. Infill 25% as a default, although 20% is usually good enough. Bed 60, temperature 220, and at that we will change to 210. Cooling 100% at layer 3. You guys said this was 235 or 225? Oh, that's too bad. I wish it was 235. So 225 by 225 by 250. Scripts. I can probably raise up the speed a little bit on this. So we're going to go X5 P500. This printer could probably handle slightly higher jerk and acceleration. 60 millimeters per second as a normal. Avoid crossing outline, 50%. That all looks good. Update profile. Now, let's see what these G-codes look like. Was Mandy asking? Oh, this is the wrong SD card content? Oh, it is 235? Good. 235 is nice. Here is my email address. 3@maurice.com. Maybe we'll do that last. So these G codes are not made for this printer, or there's more contents available? Hey, we got our first PayPal. Holy living shit, Emery. Oh my god, I'm just gonna show you guys. What the hell? You freaking rock! $250. Thank you. That is incredibly, incredibly generous. Wow. And I got the link for the small flush cutters. Oh, there they are. That is so cute. I'm going to have to try to find them in orange. Thank you so much, Emery. That is incredibly, incredibly generous. Without you guys, I couldn't do this. You guys are amazing. Let's check out the G codes here. I can switch you guys over to monitor view so that you can see these G codes we load. Oh, I figure that. Hopefully they fixed the long file name support and the viewing in folders support. Pretty please. Okay. So this one here. Oh, there's a Benchy. Let's do this so we can. That's a little weird. That movement path right there is a little weird. Huh. But we do have a Benchy on here. So I'm going to rename this to Benchy. And what is this one? That is a sexy lady. That should be a vase mode print. Yeah, this should be a vase mode print. Just so you know, Creality, this should be able to successfully print in vase mode. So, nude. This is probably a cube. Yep, 10 by 10 by that. 10 by 10 by 250. 50 by 250. Yeah, all that infill is kind of crazy. Okay. I'll be loading via SD. I don't like using the USB connection. What is this? Okay, so that is a stringing test. So does chosi mean stringing? Is that Chinese for stringing? Fukangjian? So that's going to be a tolerance test. Tolerance test. Yeah, I know about Plasti Dip. Thank you. And then Huaping. Oh, that's pretty. I've printed that many times before. Again, this is supposed to be printed in vase mode. Or no, wait a minute. This one maybe not in vase mode. I don't know. So that one's a vase. Then max 2. That's max build volume. So there is your X and Y, and that tower is your Z. So max 2 is a good name. That looks like a bed leveling test. These should be circles, not squares. Just so you know in the future, a proper bed leveling test is circles, not squares. And then, what is that? Jun Choi? That's an overhang test. Overhang test. Yeah, I think you guys are at the point where you should start doing some swag, some Creality branded swag. So there is our overhang test. Okay, so now we know it's on the SD card, so you know what we have to do, right? We got to add a Marvin. I hope I can add a Marvin. Do I still have them on here? I think I have them on this drive here. Well, here it's a simple reason. That's a good question. I need to make a video of that. Okay. So I'll explain. So you are extruding molten plastic, okay? And you want to extrude from here to here. And you want to see if your bed's level, okay? Well, here's what it looks like when it's properly attached to the bed. Here's what it looks like when it's not properly attached to the bed. You see the problem? There's no difference. Now, when you print a circle and you print a curve, this is what it looks like when it's properly attached to the bed. However, if you are not properly attached to the bed, here's what it looks like. You see? You get a tangent between the 2 points where it touches the bed. So you instantly know, that's not touching the bed. While if you print a straight line, the only way you're going to know is to touch it. Okay, so circles are always better because circles tell you immediately. The touchscreen is very responsive, no lag. So far, I have noticed no lag. But that's why you want to use circles instead of squares. And I do like the fact that they include filament that's not black or white. It's just nice to be able to have variety there. Well, I gotta hope I find my files. Did I put them on here? No, I did not. They're not on here. Maybe they're on this drive here. New folder. No, they're not on here. Oh crap, where did I put them? Did I transfer them over to D drive? Nope, not there. New folder 2. Nope, not there. New folder. Nope, not there. Where did I stick all of my files? I had to clear off all my hard drive space to make room to download Thingiverse. And I'm trying to remember where I stuck all of my files. Hi, baby. Give you guys an ender view. So it's not here. Maybe it's on this one. Yep, here it is. Okay, this is it. Okay, I think. Baby Marvin Groot. That's good enough. Okay. So let's take this out. Put this in. Hang on.